Hello, my name is Patrick Fitzgerald. I'm a doctor at Willowood Hospice, and joining me today is Counsellor Sarah Ellenbogen, and we're going to talk a little bit around advanced care planning in bereavement. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
We're doing this because it's Dying Matters Week, and I'm going to just show you the leaflet that Dying Matters have produced with Hospice UK called Supporting Bereavement. And this is available from the Dying Matters website. And I think it has a lot of answers to some of the more difficult questions about whether it's better to do something than nothing. And it also gives you some tips around how to talk to someone who suffered a recent bereavement. The do's and the do nots with some support. It's a very short but very helpful document, I think. But what I really wanted to talk about today was with Sarah around your experience with people who've made plans around their forthcoming deaths. How difficult have you found that in your work?
I think quite often people are frightened to actually face the fact that somebody is going to die, especially if they're caring 24/7. It's quite easy for you to get into a routine of saying, well, it's not going to happen yet, it's not going to happen yet. And so it's never touched upon. And suddenly when it happens, there's this vacuum where somebody's, well, what am I for now? I've just spent 24 hours a day for the last 6 months looking after this person, and they've gone, and I have nothing left. So having that conversation, discussing and planning what it's going to be like afterwards, I think can be very empowering and very useful.
Absolutely. How do you start those conversations? What do you say?
Well, one of the questions is, have you talked about it? And quite often that person will say, well, I'm too frightened to say it.
It's so common, that, isn't it? The thing about being afraid, partly that they don't want to upset their partner, but also they are afraid of how they might react themselves, hearing something difficult maybe.
Well, it's once you've said it, you are going to die, then it's real.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of people kid themselves. It's like this giant elephant in the room. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but it is to actually face the fact that this person is going to die, and you're going to say it out loud, you're going to die, and then have that conversation can be absolutely terrifying. Terrifying.
I think for some people it's just too difficult, but for those who are able to do it, I think it's really rewarding, partly because once you have two people in a relationship and they're able to talk about these difficult things, after the death, it feels like you've done something, you've contributed in some way to supporting that.
Absolutely. Once you've had that open dialogue, the person who's dying can say, this is what I want. And that allows the person who's left to do what they want and feel that they have fulfilled those wishes and done something positive. It's when you're helpless and feel that you have no agency in your life or to help your partner that you feel completely overwhelmed. I think that's a really important thing, to have some say in what's going to happen.
I couldn't imagine not having say. I would go mad if I didn't have control.
We don't have control in life.
But we don't.
We make plans. We have this sort of future fantasy of what life is going to be like. And you make plans for your retirement or for your daughter's wedding, all of these things. And then it's gone.
What would you say are some of the commoner themes that you've come across in your work around people planning for their future care?
People planning, can you elaborate?
So often people will say, well, I have a strong religious belief, so I would like a certain funeral like this. Or they might say, it's so important for me for my granddaughter to have this wedding ring, or something around their future care.
Well, again, that gives them agency. They can say, this is what I want to happen when I die. But what it also does, it opens a dialogue with your partner.
Yeah.
And the partner can actually say, well, I'm not sure that's the right way of doing things. Have you thought of this? Could we do this together? A lot of couples plan their funerals together.
That's really good to hear.
Plan the funeral of the person who's dying together. They sit down together and they say, what do you want? What do you want to happen? What music do you want? Yeah. Do you remember this occasion when we did this? How about that? Again, It's about empowerment. It's about being able to say, I planned my husband's funeral with him, and I knew what he wanted, and I made it happen for him. There's a real catharsis in that, a real sense of, I don't want to say success, because that sounds too strong a word, but there is a sense of achievement.
Yes, and I think those people who suffer very sudden bereavements, let's say their partner had a heart attack or something, where they never had the opportunity to have
No
those
closure,
discussions.
no closure.
I think those bereavements can be much harder.
I agree, I agree.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to have this very brief conversation around it. I will just mention again that it's Dying Matters, and that this is their leaflet. And you can find more around supporting bereavement in this leaflet from Dying Matters, which is available on their website.
Can I say one more
Please
thing?
do, yes.
When somebody is bereaved, they really want to talk to you, to anybody. The person they've lost is at the front of their mind, absolutely. And people are frightened to engage in a conversation. They're frightened that they're going to upset them and make them cry, which will be uncomfortable,
Yeah.
or that they might make things worse. Give somebody an opportunity to talk, even if you just sit and listen. That's what they need. They need to talk.
Have you got any particular phrases or ways of starting that conversation with somebody? If I was frightened of upsetting someone's feelings, or looking at someone thinking, oh, they just want to be left alone, that might be the wrong thing to do, to leave them alone. But maybe I don't want to bother them. I don't know. How do I start?
Acknowledge that they've lost somebody.
Right.
That's the first thing. Perhaps say something like, I can't imagine how difficult this must be for you.
That's a really good start. I can't imagine how difficult.
I know how it feels because I've been there. Because actually, you don't know how it feels, because bereavement is different for everybody. It's like a fingerprint. It is unique to everybody. But I can't imagine how hard it must be.
I can't imagine how hard it must be. That's exactly what they say in the booklet.
Is it?
So you're in agreement. That's great.
I've had to read it now.
Just to say, at Woolerwood, we do provide counselling and bereavement support for people who've engaged with our services. Thank you very much to Sarah, who's one of our team, for joining us today. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much. Cheers.